looked beyond. My girlfriend talks to me a lot about evolution and stuff, and like what she was taught in school, but I've never really gone down the intelligent design path.
It's just interesting arguments, when you really get somebody that's really studying the other end, and it's always fun. Well, not fun. It's like a course in brainwashing on both sides. I mean, everybody has preconceived notions, but, I don't know. It's interesting. So, I don't know. I'm with you. I think we probably just let that one die for now.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to go on this show. A really good guy. I've been talking to him a lot lately. I know he's a really good guy, and he did this he did this documentary on Jordan Maxwell, and he went to his house for in LA for a week, and he's almost done with it. I think he's putting out trailers of the movie right now. And, he's not, I wrote, I don't know, I know you saw it, is the forum posts to your movie, and I spread them around everywhere and whatnot.
Yep.
So, yeah, he obviously, is, concerned about my, and your, allegations. I guess you could say they're allegations, but they're really not. I mean, they're just facts, I mean, it's not like.
Own words. It's his own words.
Exactly.
Oh. People, and we talking to Sitchin, yeah, they're sons of God, they're Nephilim, whatever. You got, I agree. And then he's telling you point blank, someone's got to rule, and I'm going to serve. No problem there.
The problem I think I have with that, and with pretty much everything New Age and occult and everything, is the fact that everybody everybody admits, first of all, that these things are real, that they don't understand, they seem to kind of understand that they're kind of not the main things, they're just entities that they don't really understand the nature of them, they have a lot of misinformation, different things, even conflicting stories and doublethink within their own minds about what they are. But they are real enough, and just about every side agrees on it on both ends, but nobody has any info on them, no data, no reason to think they're telling the truth. I mean, it's just like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's just, these things have been caught in lies, that if they are, these super intelligent beings, how can you just catch them lying, like if they're automatically writing A Course in Miracles and stuff, and they're misquoting Jesus, I mean, what the hell? I mean, especially is like, my whole point is like, why do they even care about what we think about Jesus in the first place? I mean, what is the deal? And, and once you start to really understand what, the rule system that they operate on, how they get footholds into this dimension and what gets them out of the dimension, it all becomes instantly crystal clear why they are trying very desperately to discredit Jesus. Very specifically, Jesus is who they are after in this discrediting campaign. And Zeitgeist did not attack any other movies, any other religions, necessarily, but it was obvious. But anyway, it's a ramble.
Right. Well, just the simple, did it really, did they really get caught lying about Jesus, or is the Bible just wrong? And they were there and experienced it, and they have the real truth, like the missing truth about Jesus. I mean, there's so much crap. I mean, what's her name? Anne Rice, just writing a book about or a series of books about the missing years of Jesus. And I'm not even going to go there, but I could only imagine what that's going to be like. And she's re-exploring her Catholic roots. I mean, this is Interview with a Vampire, Anne Rice, in case people don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Some other guy, the guy that did, was it Basic Instinct? I think it was Basic Instinct and a bunch of other movies, maybe like Starship Troopers or something, is putting together a movie about Jesus where Mary was raped by a Roman soldier, and that's how he came about. And he was on some council of people that went into the Gospels and voted on each thing that Jesus did and each everything that he said. And they voted on whether or not these things were actually said, or whether or not they believed they could have been done or whatnot. And something like 16% accuracy. This group of 30 people or 300 people or whatever sat down and went through. I'm just like, what is this crap? I mean, that was on Drudge Report yesterday.
Right. What?
And I just, why is this even news?
Or what qualifies to get on like the Discovery Channel or the History Channel or the Sci-Fi Channel nowadays? And that guy's like the narrator, like, such an accusatory tone, like everybody knows that Jesus was a bunch of, a myth. It didn't really exist. I mean, it's so obvious that they are just, it's coming from all angles that they just really, I was listening, I said this on the podcast, today that I put out, but it's just so obvious when you really start investigating who it is. There's a lot of fronts that they have infiltrated just about every group of influence that's influencing right now, but when you really start kicking down some doors and seeing who's behind there, you're going to find, as Alex Jones says, devil worshippers every time. They're behind everything. Our battle with the NWO is essentially battle with Satan worshippers. Let's just call a spade a spade. We are battling very serious devil worshippers, leaders of covens. That's a 12 and covens of covens of covens. They're just huge hierarchies of Satan worship, and they are susceptible to the authority of Christ. They really are. They are deathly afraid of Christians knowing, first of all, that they have the authority, and then being bold enough to use it. That is not acceptable. Because they have built an empire on these principalities that we don't even believe exist, that operate as fluidly. The more doors that we open, the more fluidly they operate in our lives and move us like a hive towards the New World Order system. The New World Order is these entities, and they are scared of Jesus. It all comes down to that. And so it's really not, it's not very hard to figure out, what's going on once you plug in that very simple paradigm. You can believe that Jesus was a myth, but you do have to completely disregard actual history. And as well as I that history is written by the victor most of the time, but it's nobody used to argue Jesus' existence. That should be the best argument for his existence. That for the past 1800 years, everybody was arguing, he didn't rise from the dead. The disciples stole the body from his tomb. They had every argument in the book except he didn't exist. Nobody would have ever thought of saying he didn't exist, in the same way that I wouldn't try to actually convince anybody right now that Ben Franklin didn't exist. Because there's his glasses in some museum somewhere, and it's not been 1,200 years since then, but 1,200 years from now, I could be like, yeah, Ben Franklin, he was just a symbol of America, and it never really existed, and, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Well, I think you would have a hard time convincing me that Ben Franklin wasn't just a Satanist.
Well, he was that too, but,
To manipulate that, to make him, a folk hero and everything, and a symbol of patriotism.
Right.
You got skeletons buried in your basement, and you're running off and partaking in orgies and every other thing. You don't need to go there, but
right. Yeah, I was in New York when I went. I was in this cab, and I had the cab stop because of that church that I guess I don't know if he was whatever there, did some kind of ritual. I don't know. It was on the plaque or whatever. But man, that was the scariest looking devil worshiping church I've ever seen in my life. That thing was awful. It was real close to the towers. It was like maybe just a few blocks from the towers. It was some kind of like, I think it was what they said, the only building that survived the something blankety blank one super catastrophe. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to find out what that is.
Yeah, it was some church. I don't know. It's probably got a name.
That's crazy. I remember just hearing, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago or so, about the bodies that were in his basement. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've heard that.
They like exhumed it and they were like, oh, what is this? Oh, there's some skeletons, whatever. And then I started like really learning about this, the crap that he was involved with, and I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
I know. One thing I was wanting to ask you about is the the Pope situation, I was laughing in your last podcast when you were talking about how, you were good. You didn't need him invoking Mary, to, I forget what he was wanting her to come and do, but.
Protect us all. She's got to protect us.
But,
no thanks.
Yeah, I mean, that is one scary looking dude, if he's gonna invoke Mary, and like turn around and do a few turnarounds and blow some smoke and whatever, I don't know, man. I'd be alright, I'm with you too. I'm right there. We'll be leaving then. It's like, hey, you wanna leave? Get some coffee or something? Yeah, let's get out of here.
It was like, from the minute they announced he was gonna be the Pope, I started, it was like, my girlfriend was over that night and we were joking around and I'm like, I started doing this voice like, this really bad Italian accent saying like I'm the evil Pope and all this stuff whenever they'd have him talking in Italian or whatever language he was talking in. And I just kept saying, I'm the evil Pope. I'm like, and then I find out, okay, he was a Nazi, huh? Maybe this guy is an evil Pope. I mean, it just, I don't understand. And then.
He was the head of the Inquisition office. Yeah, I'm sure you heard all that stuff.
Yeah. But another aside on Catholicism, exactly what you were talking about before, where no one wants us to know what kind of authority we actually have through the blood of Christ. But I mean, just the whole idea of the exorcists. Oh, we have to bring in and train all these exorcists. And I had this book. It was written by actually someone that was cited recently. They were talking about Rome becoming like the satanic capital of the world and like all these, just an influx of Satanism in Rome right now. And this guy's last name is like Amorth or something. And he was like the chief exorcist or whatnot. And they just don't want anyone to know that you don't need an exorcist. You don't need to go to the Catholic Church to cast out a demon. You, as you are saved by, the blood of Christ, you were given that authority to do that, to go out and cast out devils. And it just, again, you have to be like afraid of this. You have to bow to the authority of the Catholic Church and hope that they actually send someone to help you should you encounter something that you realize is, supernatural in nature. It's just more of that, just taking the authority away from the Christian, away from the follower of Christ, and giving it to someone else, where you have to bow to them in order to get help.
Yep. Man, it made me think of just now, like, in other countries, we tend to think of like, oh, these guys are talking about people being possessed and everything else like that. And in America, it's just as real. It's just more veiled. It's actually a system. We're a very technologically advanced system in that regard, and it's veiled by a system of control with it, but to make it not so obvious. But in other countries like India and stuff, I remember it was just the other day I was listening to somebody from India talking about that it is that Satan in that country is like a roaring lion. When this was a Russ Dizdar thing that somebody that sat in with Russ Dizdar or maybe this was a different guy I think that sat in with an exorcist and just said it was so obvious there. Everybody had elements of it there. It was a part of life, but here it's just more veiled, but as strong and just as strong, and it really changes your whole outlook just knowing that you have that authority and knowing that you really, really do. I mean, I think that it's the most dangerous message that somebody could say, and I think it makes people like us the most dangerous people talking, and I was thinking about that the other day. Today, I was walking and thinking about a lot of this stuff, and I feel like it's possible that people like me and you have been appointed to have like basically a desk job in this army, in serving God. We kind of probably more or less have a desk job. It's probably going to be a real one, but there's so many people that have lived and died that have been so much better than me, whatever that means, but so much better and more humble and loving of God than I will ever be. And those people had such a rough go of it, a horrible, bloody death and fought for little and toiled their whole life, but yet probably had a more joyful life in a lot of respects too. But what I guess I'm saying is that, I guess I got to take this desk job and play it as hard and as well as we can, because for our other brothers that